Suppose we have x plus 3y, it's up there. So off to the side, let's write our goal. Remember, our goal is 1s in the diagonal, 0s everywhere else. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And these guys are just numbers. What does our augmented matrix look like? Next row, someone else? Last row, someone else? Negative. Yeah. Good. So when we do this, we are only focusing on one column at a time. So as suggested, start with the leftmost column. We need a 1 in the 1, 1 position and zeros everywhere else in that column. So looking at where we're starting at, we have a 1 in the 1, 1 position. Huzzah! We're 1/9 done. Congratulations. Notice we have a 1 in the 3, 3 position. Hooray! It doesn't matter. It's going to go away, unfortunately. So only focus on one column at a time. Within that column, make your 1s, then make your 0s. So where this 2 is at, we need it to become a 0. So ask yourself, using this 1, what should I multiply it by? So when I add it to 2, I make 0. Negative 2. So we're going to do negative 2, row 1, plus row 2, makes the new row 2. Rows 1 and 3 will not change. So let's write those in first. This is a good practice to get into. And off to the side, let's write down what negative 2 times the first row will look like. What's negative 2 times? Wrong one. What's negative 2 times 1? Negative 2 times 3, negative 6, times negative 4, 8, times 23, negative 46. So now you're going to take these 4 numbers, which is negative 2 times the first row, and add it to these 4 numbers. And this will become the new second row. So negative 2 and positive 2 makes 0. Negative 6 and positive 2 makes negative 4. 8 and negative 1. Positive 7. Negative 46 and 19. Negative 27. Congratulations, 22.2 repeating percent complete. Are we done with the first column? Nope. Where this negative 3 is at, right here, we want this to be a 0. So use your 1 in that column. 1 times what? Plus negative 3 makes 0. Positive 3. So we're going to say 3 times what row? Plus which row? And this makes the new good. All right, rows 1 and 2 will not change. What is 3 times row 1? 3. 9. Negative 12. Good. We're going to take these 4 numbers and add it to this row. And that will make the new 3rd row. So add corresponding entries, negative 3 and 3. Oh, wrong color. Oh my gosh. Can't have that. 9 and negative 1. Negative 12 and 1. And 69 minus 18, 51. First column is complete. So now we move on to the next column. Now, when I say make your 1, then make your zeros, in my opinion, it's best to make the 1 first. You don't have to. You could make your zeros first if you wanted to. But do not move on to the next column until you have 0, 1, 0 going down for the second column. All right. So where that negative 4 is at, we need a 1. Thoughts? Yes, unfortunately, fractions are unavoidable. We're going to have to multiply by negative 1/4 to the second row. By the way, you're going to need some paper for this one. I forgot to tell you earlier. In fact, I probably have to go to the next screen. I'm not going to fit it all. Wah, 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 wah. What rows do not change? 1 and 3. Put them in. It is fun. What is negative 1/4 times the second row? 0, 1, negative 7/4, 27/4. So here's the deal. Once your first column is complete, and I'm going to say this a couple times because it hurts a little bit. Once the first column is complete, you cannot use the first row to change any other row. If you did, you would lose your zeros. So once your first column is complete, you can't use the first row to change anything else. Otherwise, you'll lose your zeros. And then you'd have to work backwards. So literally what you're doing is you're painting yourself in a corner as far as what you're allowed to use. And typically, you only use the numbers that are on the diagonal to change other things. So I'll say that a couple times if it didn't sink in yet, which is fine. All right, we got our 1, and now we need to make our zeros. It does not matter the order in which you make your zeros. So let's go with the 3. What should you multiply this 1 by? So when you add it to 3, you get 0. So give me the full operation. Negative 3. Yep. Good. Good. The enthusiasm is infectious. What, pray tell, is negative 3 times row 2 look like? 0. Yep. 21/4. Negative 81/4. I miss you. Oh, So sad. Oop, wrong one. Okay, if you would, worth it. We're going to take those four numbers and add them to, I'll do the hard one, 1 plus 0. 3 and negative 3. 81 fourths minus 4. 21 fourths minus 4. Sorry, I got excited. 5 over 4. Those are the most excited you guys get when I make mistakes. Negative 81 fourths plus 23. No, 23 is 100. No, is 92 fourths. So 92 fourths minus 81 fourths is 11 fourths. Sure. So negative 4 plus 21 fourths. Well, negative 4 is negative 16 fourths because we need to calm it out there. So negative 16 plus 21 is 5, and then over 4. And then the other two rows stay the same. Fractions are your friend, not food. All right, what operation is necessary to turn that 8 in the 2, 3 entry into a 0? Yep, so negative 8, row 2, plus row 3 makes the new row 3. Questions? All right, what is negative 8 times the second row look like? 0. Yep. 14. Negative 54. We're going to add those four numbers. Oh, I deleted my highlight. That's okay. Add those four numbers to the last row. If you want to write it in the first two rows, that's cool. Okay, what are those four numbers in green added to the last row? 0, 0, Good. The second column is complete. We now move on to the third column. Make your 1, then make your zeros. So because of this, since the second row is done, since the second column is done, we can no longer use the second row to change anything else. So again, we've painted ourselves into the corner. We have to use this 3 or that position to change everything else. But let's make that 3 into a 1 first. How do we make the 3 into a 1? Multiply by 1/3. So 1/3 row 3 makes the new row 3. First two rows will not change. What is 1/3 times the last row? 0, 0, 1, negative 1. What does this say about z? Z equals negative 1. So if this were Gaussian elimination, you would rewrite this back in the equation and then just go back up the ladder. We're not going to do Gaussian elimination. We're going to go all the way to our goal, because that's the process we're going to need later on. All right, so what has to change next? Yeah, So how are you going to make a 5/4 into a 0? Yep, negative 4/5, row 3 plus row 1 becomes row 1. So in summary, to make zeros, you add a negative. To make ones, you multiply by the reciprocal. So again, to make zeros, you add a negative. To make ones, you multiply by the reciprocal. If you would, do this step and also do the remaining step on your own, and then we'll compare answers. If you get done early, you should go back through the original problem, put your numbers in. Oh. You dropped something. Oh, I got too excited there. That's okay. So adding the first 4 numbers in green, these guys here, green on green, that's okay. To your first row, you get 1, 0, 0, and then what is 11/4 plus 5/4? 4, because that's 16/4. So what does this say about x? Good. And then multiplying the last row by positive 7/4. Starting you off with 0, 1, 0 for the second row. We'll have 27/4 minus 7/4, 5, because that's 24. So what's our order triple? 4, 5, -1. Hooray! You want 8 of those on the test, correct? No one said no.